to, but
the worst
because they
racism
believe.
that I've experienced.
Yeah.
Anyone? Sorry to say this, bro.
No, don't say it.
Sorry,
Don't
bro.
say it.
Just say it, bro.
Does it
Just
start with a
say
P?
it.
Yeah.
And it's not Pakistani. One guy said to me, "You Arabs, you guys always look down at us Asians." I'm like, "Yeah, because you're breaking your neck looking up at them. What are you doing looking up at them? They're ID. They're not."
Turks are racist. Most of them are, from what I've experienced, because
That's a big statement.
Yeah,
bro.
it is.
they have a superiority.
He feels more racism
Within the Muslim
from Asians than white people. A lot of Asians put Arabs on a high pedestal.
100%.
And then
100%.
when the Arabs let them down, they start to say, "You Arab." Hello, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another episode of AAA Talks. I'm your host, Muaz,
Safe.
And Yahya.
and today I have to say, Yahya,
Yeah.
I know you've come all the way from Birmingham, as you do all the time.
All the
Great
time.
dedication,
Come on.
but I think I beat you today.
No, you never did.
I came.
Well, you know what the funny part is? If I come from Birmingham earlier than you, or even at the same time, that's an achievement.
Bro, today I came
Come
from.
on, man.
You
I
came
came,
here earlier than him.
He lives 2 minutes away
bro.
from me.
I came
That's me,
from.
bro. That's me.
I came from Africa, bro.
Oh,
I came from Morocco, bro.
Come on.
Suitcase is right there, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, I've come all the way. Dedication.
Oh, that is
man.
dedication. Landing,
Yeah.
coming straight to here.
Yeah.
Dedicated to the cause. 100%.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Morocco is. Have you guys been to Morocco?
yeah.
Yeah.
We've been together.
Bro. We did the marathon
Oh, yeah,
together
yeah,
recently.
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Did you actually finish it? Is the question.
Yeah, we did.
Did
yeah,
same action
yeah, yeah. We got some good Moroccan food as well.
Okay, that's good.
There's a lot of conversation
I
about
think
Morocco.
I beat you as well.
Yeah, I don't think it was a race between us. I never trained.
I'm joking, bro.
But yeah,
I like
did you like the Moroccan food?
It's decent, some parts of it.
You got a bit.
And I like
You
tagine.
got a bit annoyed.
I like tagine. The lamb tagines are usually good with it. The hit
But
and
I don't
miss.
know what it is. Food over there, Moroccan food over there, and over here, it's better over here.
That's with every country in the world, bro.
That's a bit
Man,
strange.
I like
What's,
that.
what is your favorite North African country in terms of food, people, culture?
But how many have you
much
been
there,
to?
but I've just been
Oh
Morocco.
yeah, that's true.
I've been Tunisia, I've been Morocco and Egypt.
Yeah.
I liked
I mean, I've
Egypt,
lived in
bro.
Egypt,
Not
yeah.
because of you, but I did like Egypt.
Are you sure? You telling me that the hotel you hated the hotel?
No, that was Sharm el-Sheikh, not Cairo. Sharm
Okay.
el-Sheikh was crap.
Okay.
I've
all
lived
right.
in Egypt, so I know.
Okay, let's broaden it then. What's your favorite? I'll tell you what. What's your favorite Muslim country? Who are your favorite people?
Qatar.
Qatar.
Qatar, yeah.
People?
Qatar, yeah,
You,
people.
did you
How many-
interact with Qataris?
How many
Yeah,
Qataris do you know, bro?
Exactly.
I know quite a few.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I would say in terms of favorite country would be Qatar. Favorite people.
I thought you'd say Egypt, man.
No,
Haram
no,
alaik,
no,
bro.
no, bro. Sorry, bro. I had the bad experience last time I've been there, bro.
No, that's different. You
You lived there for so long, though.
I've lived there, but I've also spent a year there.
Yeah, no, that was
Couple
hard.
of-
That
yeah.
was hard.
That
Who
was
are your
the-
favorite people?
You know what? I like Yemenis. I like Yemenis a lot. They're humble people. They're nice and easy.
They're funny.
But countries-wise, you get hit and miss. I've
No,
traveled
no,
a lot.
I mean, as a people, yeah. Like
As a
that you've
people,
interacted with.
Yeah, probably Yemeni. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I haven't been to Somalia, but my favorite, I'd have to say my favorite Muslim group, Muslim country.
But
People from a Muslim
it's
country.
a bit
but my
unfair
favorite
because-
people are definitely Somali.
because there's always really good people in every nation. So
No, 100%. But I'm saying who are your favorite that you've interacted with?
I think Kuwaitis as well. Trump Qatar.
Get out of here with Qataris and Kuwaitis, bro. What's
I'm
wrong
being
with you,
serious,
bro?
I've
Bro,
done
How many have you met, bro?
Kuwaitis,
3 or 4? We're talking
Kuwaitis,
like here in the UK, in your life, when you lived
Oh.
in Egypt, when you lived in Holland.
Kuwaitis, bro.
Khalas. All right, Kuwaitis apparently. No, you know what? Bengalis
Bro.
are up there.
Huh?
I'd
Oh,
say
Bengalis,
Bengalis out
100%,
of the South Asians, I'd say they're probably the most.
100% the
No,
Sorry
I
to my
yeah.
Indian, Sri Lankan, and
Indians are quite humble
Pakistani
as well,
brothers, but I'd say Bengalis are probably the most humble. Out of
And
the
Indians
group.
as well.
Yeah, we are.
They're not bad.
Yeah, I don't
Indians
think I know
are-
enough Indians, but no, Bengalis, no,
Yeah.
and Bengali food is lovely.
Yeah, it is.
I'd say it's a little bit better than Egyptian food.
Oh,
A
100%.
little bit, 100%. All right. Okay, how about this? Who are the most challenging people you've come across?
Oh, Egyptians.
Egyptians.
100%.
ليه بس يا عم؟ Why?
Egyptians, bro.
Right.
They're
Yahya,
lovely
it's
people,
coming.
bro.
Let me lean forward. Yeah.
No. Egyptians are lovely people, bro. Day to day, can deal with them. But in general, difficult people, bro. Very difficult to deal with.
I was
I want to
in
say
Egypt.
Egyptians over here, Egyptians over there.
Yeah, I was in Egypt recently.
Are very
It's,
challenging, bro.
you have to be thick-skinned to cope in Egypt. It's hard work.
100%. Yeah.
Who would you say? What about you?
You know what? My recent experience from travel has been Turkey, bro. Istanbul this time around with the family was a nightmare. It went to the point, bro. I was in a taxi. I keep getting into fights in taxi. They put the fare up by about 7 times the fare on the meter. They go, no, don't worry about this. This is the fact. So it'll be like 600 lira on the meter, and they'll want something like 2,000 or 3,000.
Yeah.
And it came to a point, bro. One of the incidents, they locked me and the family inside the taxi and didn't let me out.
Wow.
Oh.
Would you say that's a tourist thing, or would you say there was an element of racism where like Turks could be a bit?
Turks are racist. Most of them are, from what I've experienced, because
That's a big statement.
Yeah,
bro.
it is.
they have a superiority. They rule the
They
world for a little while.
think they are superior. Is that
Well,
what
when
you're
you
trying
go to
say?
their country, they're not that hospitable. They're not that welcoming sometimes, even though they have a huge amount of tourism, and it keeps changing because
Is that because of the tourism, or is that just because
it could be.
they
It
are
could
the
be
way
because
they are?
when someone gets good service in something, I mean, when they get a lot of something, popularity of something.
Would you say it's
I
similar?
think-
Is that like Saudis then?
Turkish, no,
and-
Turkish
Exactly.
are
Saudi's
proud
been
of
worse. So I've been going on for a long time now. Back in 2003 and 4, they were just so welcoming and happier. Now they're like treating like sheep and cattle.
Haji,
like,
Haji, keep walking. Haji,
Haji.
Haji.
Tariq.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
bro,
Yeah.
Turkish are very prideful.
Yeah, they're
Very
proud. Yeah,
prideful.
but that's not. Yeah, that's a huge
But
hindrance.
in terms of racist, I don't think
Bro,
so.
the whole experience, bro. I'm just thinking from restaurant experiences, from taxi experiences, from the airport check-ins, everything. Turks are on another level now.
And you think that was a racial thing?
I would assume so, yeah. I think so.
Interesting.
Or
Would you say they
I don't
treat
know. if
Asians different to other people?
they treat their own a bit better, without a doubt.
No,
But that's with most
100%.
people.
They'll treat their own better. But do you think they would have treated a white person like that, the way they treated you? Don't get me wrong. I've been to Turkey
No,
loads, and I
mean,
know it's very.
I don't know, but
difficult. They're difficult.
from like the bigger picture of things, they are bum-licking Europeans. So
Mm.
they might treat them a bit better. No, they are, bro. They're trying to get into the EU for so long. They're trying to detach them from some certain things. So that's how they are.
And would you say So you're saying Turkey is the most?
I mean, look, racism is apparent in literally nearly everywhere, but certain places you experience it more.
yeah.
And
that
I
goes
think
without saying.
this time round in Turkey, I experienced it a fair bit. Even in Saudi, when we went through Ummah recently as well, there's certain things they allow on the queues, the locals to go ahead. If you've got a white phobe on and you look like a Salafi brother with the red, wallahi, they fast track the people, the security go, you in, no, you. They look at the clothes of the people and they don't let them in to the haram sometimes, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you say between Egyptians and Turkish though? He's much more challenging.
Because
Egypt,
you went to both countries recently.
Yeah.
Egypt, no. Sharm el-Sheikh, they were very welcoming. I can't say anything bad about them.
That's not really a
In
representation.
Cairo, when I went there in 2009, it's very long ago. I mean, all I remember is they were all butch in the airport, bro. So they come out and there's like
butch, as in
butch, as in like hench.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's, I think that's an old school
Yeah.
term, but yeah.
No, I don't. It
I
might
mean,
come
you've been
across
recently to
biased.
Egypt, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, what we talk about. I don't know. I don't think. Obviously, there's a lot of racism in Egypt,
I
but
haven't experienced that. I would have
But
said
you-
Egyptians
but-
are
but
racist.
I was about
People
to
that
ask
won't
you, but
Sorry?
having being a black person, well, obviously
Yeah.
there's loads of black Egyptians, obviously,
Yeah,
but being a non-Egyptian who's black and you lived there for what 10 years,
10.
did you experience racism there?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure there
Maybe
is
in the
racism.
few.
There
I'd
is the
say-
typical Arab kind of like they value the
'Cause
fair
even
skin and the coloured eyes.
But Somalis, we've lived there for a very long time. It's like there's some sort of history between us and Egyptians in
Yeah.
general. But in terms of racism,
I have to say,
I'll say the first couple, maybe the first year or two. But after that, it was just
you know,
they became family to me. To be honest,
You know, I know a lot
Yeah.
of brothers that went to Egypt to study and they went and stayed there for years and things like that. And one of the brothers' story I remember, and he used to go, sometimes he said his whole day was ruined just by going to the grocery shop, interacting with one Egyptian,
yeah.
right? And I don't
Maybe
know how
it's
bad it
because
was
they
for...
didn't know how to speak the dialect. They didn't know how to deal with them.
He went there to learn
Probably,
Arabic, so
yeah.
I don't think he knew
I
it
don't, but I
properly.
don't think that's a racist thing. I think that's just a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Egyptians could be difficult. They're difficult with their own people, bro.
Yeah.
When I go, it's like, get ready. We call it bahdela, basically. It's
Yeah.
like, how do you say, what's bahdela? Like, you're going to go
They have
through
to
it.
real new.
You're going to go through it. Every day is a whole new challenge. It's just a typical Egyptian experience.
100%.
But I would say
I said
that...
the funniest part was I went in a taxi and I was going to Ummah,
Yeah.
New Cairo, basically. And then this guy, as soon as I was dressed and everything, he stopped the meter, and normally it's about 50, 60 guinea. It's about a pound or two.
Yeah.
He literally goes, give me double.
Yeah.
I go to him, for what? He goes to me, well, you can pay for it, right? But I've just closed the door and walked away. He never followed me.
Yeah, no. Egyptians can be.
Egyptians are a bit weird. A bit weird when it comes to that sense. Yeah.
I'll tell you a country that I think definitely, like I said, look, it goes without saying, guys, there's racism everywhere, right?
Oh, 100%.
But I have to say, and I've been very involved with the Algerian community.
Oh, no, they are.
Don't attack them, bro. Don't
Bro.
do it. Don't do it.
Bro, about
Since we started.
15 years ago,
Yeah.
I used to teach in an Arabic school, yeah? And I used to teach like these 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, very basic level, like Islamic studies and Quran and stuff. Anyway, so I'm there like, okay, so kids, who is it? And I'm asking very basic questions like pillars of Islam, stories of the prophets. So one time I go, okay, so kids, who is it that whispers into our ear and tells us to do bad things? So naturally, me. So I look at Amina, are you concentrating? Yeah, really cute little innocent girl. Yeah, Amina, wait for it.
Is he also Algerian?
Wait for it.
Go on.
Amina, who whispers into our ear and tells us to do bad things?
Yeah.
I don't know, sir. Okay, it's not a human. Okay, but something whispers into it and tells us to do bad things. Tells us don't listen to your parents. Tells us to watch naughty things. Tells us to say bad stuff. Come on, Amina, who whispers into our ear and tells us to do things that Allah doesn't like. And she goes, black people? Wallahi. Wallahi. And I was like,
Subhanallah.
That is so wrong. That is so wrong. That is so
what is
wrong.
going on at home? What is she hearing?
That
This
is so wrong.
definitely something she's hearing at home.
Yeah. No, that
And
is
obviously,
so,
I love
that
my
is weird.
Algerians,
Yeah.
but there are, and like there's racism everywhere, but I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
So, but then you know what's
That is
crazy?
ridiculous.
You get a lot of them a lot
black
of
people.
Algerian men that are married to black women.
They're married to Somalis.
Yeah,
A lot of them. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was an experience, bro.
Astaghfirullah.
But what about racism within our community, though, bro? You're Somali.
Yeah.
I've never seen a country that is so tribalist like Somalis, bro. There's like tribal wars going on till now. Not wars, but as in like, debates and arguments. Would you say there's racism in...
So that's more discrimination, thinking that you're better than other people in general.
What's the difference?
There is a sect within.
Yeah, go on.
There is. I mean,
Is
I
it
think-
not
I
about
think-
colour? Is it more about...
just more of a status
What
thing.
tribe...
I'd say it's
tribes
more
have
of a
different
status
statuses.
thing. Yeah, 100%.
There's a guy
Well,
I know that he proposed to a girl.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a form
She
of
was
racism,
happy.
though, tribalism and things like that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're way superior than you. So racism, if you break it down, is basically I'm better than you, right?
Yeah.
So it could be skin color, and sometimes it's to do racist within racist. Is like I'm superior because I'm wealthy, I've got a better job, or certain things like that. There's racism in Bangladesh between Bengali communities. They've got a city that's got one more building than the other one. Now that city is well known for being better than the other people, and they look down on the other people.
But is that they look down at them because of a class thing, or is it?
Is it
They're
the
racist.
Siliti and Dakhi thing?
Yeah, it could be a class thing. There's caste system on the Indian caste
and that's
system.
definitely racist.
That's it.
obviously.
Yeah, there used to be back in the days people called the untouchables, right? Where you're not even allowed to touch them or go near them. These people,
Maharajas are
they're
now?
the lowest of the lowest, right? They do really bad jobs, and no one could get married to them and things like that.
Oh,
and you have that. I mean, similar things in the UK as well. In the caste system, where you've got the high class and then you've got the low class, working class, and so on, the middle class.
But you're not going into status and class. I'm talking about racism, though.
Just the color of the skin.
No. Well,
Just in general.
well, I mean,
Or would you classify that more as a racism? Is racism more based on color and discrimination is based more on status?
I think they're all forms of racism.
no, they're all forms of discrimination, obviously. But what I mean is like the caste system in Bangladesh and India. That's definitely racism, right?
Yeah, tribalism as well is part of that.
Tribalism, yeah.
Because what's the tribe? Why is one tribe superior than the other? Why does one tribe say never for that tribe? Why would it be? Because they have more men, they have more money, they have what is
It's not really based on that. It's just more of a status thing for us.
Yeah, I don't think
not
Somalis. It's a matter of color of their skin. But,
just
but I
more
think
of a-
generally, let's be honest, every country, like in Africa and Asia,
Yeah.
even South
You've got
America,
that in Egypt, for
when
example. Yeah.
fair skin,
Yeah.
people with lighter skin generally are looked at with, they're praised, they're valued higher because of their fair skin, and darker skin people aren't.
But
That's just
the
irrelevant.
narrative's changing in the Western countries. They like black people more.
Who
Like
likes
in the
black people more?
Europeans, though, come on, bro. Like the Europeans and things like that.
What,
I don't know.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
I mean, like, for example, the women of this country, the white women and stuff like that, they like.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about marriage. No, I'm not talking about marriage or relationships. I'm just talking about.
That's racism. In general.
No,
Well, I think more the Muslim community. Well, actually, I'll tell you something. A Jamaican guy, Muslim guy, and born Muslim as well, he said something very interesting. He said that he feels more racism
Within the Muslim
from Asians than white people.
there could be some truth to that, I would say.
How
But-
mad is that? He was like, I could go
But-
and date a white girl or marry a white girl, and there'll be no problems. She could be, and even if she's from a Muslim family and she's white, no problems. But I could never marry an Asian man's daughter.
Would you say the same thing towards Arabs, though?
There's
Maybe,
racism with
maybe.
Yeah.
Because
But
that's the
I
same thing. They
personally,
would
but
treat
I'm
them
not gonna
as
lie.
bad as probably
I'm
Asian
not gonna lie.
yeah.
This might be controversial, but I agree with him. I actually think that out of the Muslim community, I think the most racist towards black people are Asians. I know I said the thing about Algerians earlier, but I think as a whole, I think it's Asians, because I think Arab women will still marry black brothers from Sudan, from Somalia, from Nigeria, from wherever, Jamaica, but you don't see that with Asians.
No, that's not entirely true, bro. My close friend from a young age, he was Somalian. And Subhana Abdi, his name was.
I just made up the most
original.
generic
Wallahi,
Somali
his name
name.
was
Everyone's
Abdi,
name is
bro.
Abdi,
It was Ashraf's friend as
Yeah.
well, yeah? Anyway, Bashir. And he got married to a Bengali. They've been married, they've got kids. He's put on weight.
But it's
You
not.
know.
It's not that
But
common.
people
though.
don't look at Somalis same as they would look as West Africans.
Yeah,
It's a bit different.
I think Somalis are more
Jamaicans,
like
yeah.
integrated with the Muslim community more than like the Nigerian Muslim community. You go to
Arguably-
South London, some Nigerian
Yeah.
mosques, and it's like, oh my god, I didn't even know. Like, you know, in Eid, the West
subhanallah.
Africans show up in their outfits. You're like, whoa! Like, if you wore regular clothes,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought you were
I
Muslim.
think the Arabs are the most racist towards the Asians. In fact, I know one story where the Imam, a sheikh, was marrying off an Arab sister to a Asian Bengali brother. Yeah, and subhanallah, the Arab sheikh is questioning the Arab sisters like, why do you want to marry an Asian guy for? In the nikah,
Yeah, obviously that's
like,
ridiculous.
now come on, bro, that's racism.
Yeah, that's
Like
That
you're trying to convince the girl whilst you're doing the nikah. Like they've already made the agreements and everything.
was
You're
the
just
questions?
there
What was the
getting
questions
paid the
they
fee
asked?
to do the nikah.
What was the question they asked?
I don't know, man. You're gonna have to ask the brother, but yeah.
yeah.
So you can see that, and even in our comment section, a lot of that. But that's a little bit overseas now. They're saying the Arabs of Qatar, UAE, Saudi,
I think for me the
look
ones
down
that
at
I've
the Asians.
The
if we're
worst
talking about
racism.
Muslims in the UK,
Yeah.
I'd probably say Asians are the most.
But in terms of
are the most
experience-wise,
racist.
bro,
But I think overall, you have to say it's obviously the Khaliji Arabs.
well, sorry to say
You
this,
have
bro.
to, but
the
because-
worst
because they
racism
believe-
that I've experienced from
Yeah.
anyone. Sorry to say this, bro.
No, don't say it.
Sorry,
Don't
bro.
say it.
Just say it, bro.
Does it
Just
start
say
with a P?
it.
Yeah,
And it's not Pakistan, is it?
no. That's the worst.
Are you sure you want to say that?
I can't do that, bro.
no, I'm just teasing.
Yeah. Look, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You're
To be
gonna.
honest, sorry to say this, bro. I've lived with them.
You can say it, bro. It's fine. I was just.
Palestinians. I've lived with them. There are so many great people, subhanallah. But there are some of them, subhanallah, bro.
Yeah.
But what,
For the record, we're talking about Palestinians that live in
Palestine.
our community.
Yeah, in our communities.
in the
yeah.
UK. We're obviously not talking about the country, obviously.
The worst, bro.
I haven't lived with
So
them.
you
I
think it's
only
the
know them as
worst,
friends.
and you would say from your interaction in the UK Muslims, you'd say it's Arabs.
Yeah, I say there's a lot of Arabs, but they look up down at Asians. I think certain communities of Asians more than anything.
Do you think?
And of course.
And that could be because of sometimes food and language, mainly.
Food and language
Yeah, possibly.
makes Arabs look down at Asians.
Yeah, they'll say, Allahu Alam, like, that curry is disgusting. Look at that. Or, I don't know. They do eat it though. So there's a bit of,
I think
inconsistency.
I'll tell you something, right? I think a lot of Asians put Arabs on a high pedestal.
100%.
And then
100%.
when the Arabs let them down, they start to say, you Arabs, you. Look, let me just tell you about my experience, right? I taught during uni time, everyone's always looking for a part-time job during uni. So there was this position for teaching like very basic Quran in a institute called Tayyibun. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
And I remember like, I'm just this uni student. the average guy, like nothing. Like I just about know bits and pieces. I'm going to teach little Bengali kids, yeah? And it is like literally 99% Bengalis.
We've all done
Bro,
it. Yeah.
we've all done that,
We've
right?
all done it, yeah.
Bro, it's not Mr. Muayez or Ustad Muayez. Bro, straight away, Sheikh Muayez.
Yeah, that's because...
And then what happens is, when the head teacher's saying that, all of the staff in the school are calling you that, and then the parents of the kids are calling you that. And it's like, you're putting out fires. Like, no, I'm not, please. Don't attach that title to me. And it's like, Sheikh. And,
are you sure?
And 100%. And this is the problem, though. I think a lot of Asians themselves, when they see the Asian Sheikh, okay, mashallah. When they see the Arab Sheikh,
that's completely
when they
wrong.
see the
I'm gonna
Arab
have to
Sheikh,
stop you there. No
whoa.
way. They have that respect for teachers. And they were given that reverence.
They give more respect to Arabs, and I completely
not the same as they
say.
give to
I completely disagree with
I'm an Asian. I'm Bengali, bro. I've been taught under Arab.
You have that too, bro.
Quran teachers and things like that.
You have that too, bro.
Well, I've been given reverence to Arab people.
Bro, there is this thing. There is this thing. Bro, there is this thing where it's like my teacher, and you have to immediately say that he's an Arab and what country he's from. Yeah, an Arab student, an Arab person wouldn't do that.
I don't know, bro.
He wouldn't say,
I've said my teacher
from Syria, or my teacher's from Egypt. You know what I mean? I just feel like, and what I'm trying to tell you is this needs to get fixed, because I feel like a lot of Asians, they put Arabs on a high pedestal. And I'm telling you, like, this is not good. Like, one guy said to me, you Arabs, you guys always look down at us Asians. I'm like, yeah, because you're breaking your neck looking up at them. What are you doing looking up at them? They're adi. They're normal people just like you.
Wallahi, I don't know which ones you're talking about, bro. Maybe in that Bengali institute that you were there in East London and you came in dressed a bit nicer with a white phobe and red thing.
At one point I was wearing shorts, bro. I was wearing
looking
shorts
like Mufti Menk and that and coming in, bro.
Absolutely not. Talking of that, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw, I put a picture up of me on a Friday, and I was wearing the Saudi imama.
Long time ago.
No, it was a few weeks ago. Yeah. Anyway, bro, so I put a picture up of me wearing the red imama with the black thing, right? Yeah. First of all, I have to say, I'm so clueless. I didn't even know that was a Saudi look. That's the first thing, yeah? Because I never wore the black thing. I just wore the red one. Like, Palestinians wear it, everyone wears it, right?
Yeah.
And then on my way out to the mosque, my son goes to me, Baba, put this on. Yeah, so I put it on. Anyway, so I took a picture and I put it on WhatsApp status and Instagram, and I wrote Jum'ah Mubarak. Bro, so many people messaged me negative messages. Bro, you should wear the Egyptian outfit. Bro, why are you begging it from the Saudis?
Yeah.
Bro, why are you culture appropriation? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, relax.
The thought did cross my mind.
Relax. Relax. What's the beef exactly?
Yeah.
Oh, what did they say?
What did they say? A bit more tense,
you're supporting Saudis, yeah? And the Saudi government, obviously, bed partners of Israel, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm with you.
No, that isn't supporting past. No,
yeah, that's what they were saying. You're
just because you wear a phobe like this.
No, it wasn't a thobe. Yeah, because I
but
wore the
that's
thing
the
like
same
that.
mentality
And they were like,
that other people have towards people that have the kafir on.
yeah,
That's literally the same mentality.
No, but
bro.
you know what I said to a few of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had my answer ready because of how many messages came in. At one point, I had to copy and paste the same message. I said, "Do you wear a Moroccan jalaba? Would you wear a Moroccan jalaba?"
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Moroccan government.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. But you know what?
The alliance they have with Israel,
Yeah.
it's like on the same level as Saudi, if not worse.
Yeah.
So don't come at me with that. The truth is, you're trying to use the whole Israel thing to get to your point. The fact of the matter is, you just can't stand Saudis.
Yeah.
You can't stand Saudis, and you're using that kind of argument. Yeah, I think there's a bit.
I don't buy that argument because one of the main things, and if you're principal by yourself in this country that you're living in, that you're paying your taxes and that you're working in, what's happening here? They're the biggest supporter of them, you know, and you can't do much about it. You're here. What are you going to do? Migrate to Yemen?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think on the topic of racism, I think in Muslim marriages, I think that's where it needs to get fixed in the Muslim community in the UK, 100%. I think in more than ever in marriages. Would you agree?
Marriages is a big thing because a lot of people still have it cultured in their mind. However it is, whether if they're respectful to their parents especially, they have that idea, if they have parents as well. And, you know, they want to respect that, and they would say, look, marry from your own community. Now, that could be someone, a Somali wants to marry a Somali as well. They might not want to move out of that. A Bengali might want to marry a Bengali. But in this society, it's very multicultural. You can't control certain things. Especially when you have such a mixed environment, if you like, and people from schooling and things like that. Fall in love.
100%. But that's the thing. Right now, what you realize is people are not really inclined towards marrying their own kind. Whether they're Somalis, Asians, Arabs.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
Somalis, I think
Somalis
out of everyone, maybe Somalis and Afghans.
Not even Bengalis.
They marry their own. Somalis and Bengalis as well, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it.
I don't know any Afghan that's married to a non-Afghan.
But there's Somalis that are starting.
And they marry cousins as well. Yeah. They don't mess around.
But Somalis always used to marry outside of their culture, by the way.
No, yeah. Oh my God. Every Somali's married to a Somali, bro. Not every Somali, but you know what I mean.
Bro, there's a lot of Somalis that are married outside of the Somali
Pakistanis
culture.
are marrying out a lot now.
Yeah.
You know what?
Is that a good thing, marrying out? Or should you stay?
Wallahi, as long as the person is Muslim.
I just think...
I don't think it's a big issue, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing, right? With certain cultures, you're not going to be able to get used to the other culture, probably. But it's not always the same. Do you know what I mean? But if it works for you, ahlan wa sahlan.
Yeah. What's the and it's recommended as well.
It is, yeah.
Allah created us in tribes to get to know one another. What's the ayah? Putting Yahya on the spot.
إِنَّا جَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا.
MashaAllah.
Astaghfirullah. Go on.
Yeah, let's keep it humble, bro.
But this the
I'm joking. I'm joking. For those of you who don't know, Yahya is, mashallah, very arrogant. No, I'm joking. He's very humble. No, sorry, what you saying?
But that's the thing. I mean, I don't see the issue with marrying outside of your culture, but it just makes it much more difficult for the dynamics in terms of your family, her family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the only thing.
It makes it a bit more challenging, do you know? So it's always easier to marry within your culture.
Yeah.
But if you're not very cultural, and a lot of people aren't in this society, in this big city of London and so on, that doesn't really come into play. It's usually just the couple, how they get along, rather than the family, the extensions, all that. There's only certain interactions in that.
But I think in-laws interacting with each other is very important, man.
100%.
I think that helps solidify the marriage. It builds the marriage.
It could, or it could turn into arguments as well, and more gossip.
Yeah, women gossip. You want to go there?
Let's not go to it, guys.
Yeah. You know, like for
I think men gossip more nowadays, if I'm honest, right? On the side of women now, men gossip a lot more. I've seen that too much.
I'm not sure about that.
I see it too much.
About when men get together, there's almost like a protective jealousy. There's a ghira about us. We're not going to complain about our wives. 100%. We're not going to say bad things about our wives. You're still protecting them.
Not so much about the wives. It's more about
I was talking about wives. I was talking about wives and in-laws because we were talking about in-laws. Whereas I think when women get together, it's like, competition of who could bash their in-laws.
What was the worst racist experience that you had over here in the UK?
In the UK.
Oh, you're going back to racism.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you. I think I've only ever had one incident.
Yeah.
This is funny. Yeah. This white guy, I grew up in Islington, so a very white area back in the day. There weren't many Muslims in my school. There weren't many coloured people, actually. Yeah, and I remember one guy walked past me and just, white guy, old geezer, barred me. And I turned around and I was hot-headed as a teenager. I was probably like, 17, 18.
Yeah.
And I went, "Oi, watch it." And he turned around and he goes, "What are you going to do?" And I was just like, I was about to get angry and challenge him until he said something. He goes, "What are you going to do? You effing Muslim Sikh." And I was like, not worth it. Not worth it. I was ready. And I've done it before.
Yeah,
But it's just not worth it. Yeah, you know, this is just, you know those ones in it. It's just, there's no point.
But that's the thing. I had similar situation with, again, one of those white guys, construction site.
Construction, you get that
Yeah,
a lot,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, the
You
one
get
guy
that a
goes
lot.
to-
And I won't handle myself.
But that's the thing. What guy goes to me.
I think all right. Well, I've been working construction for so long now.
But this is the thing, bro.
But
Bro,
yeah,
you
it's
work with
different.
Romanians.
No.
What, white
White
geezers.
people, scaffolders,
Geezers,
geezers.
bum
you know what I'm
line,
saying?
filling
But
dish
check
for
this out,
breakfast.
bro.
Yeah,
I'm talking
okay.
up north, bro. Up north is
Okay.
it keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
The further you go, the worse it gets, right? So there's this one guy comes up to me and he goes, "Yeah, I can ask you a question. You're Muslim, right?" I go to him, "Yes." He goes to me, "Why do you guys blow yourselves up?" And I go to him, "Are you
I
dead
haven't blown
yet?"
myself
What is
up
the
yet.
thing? I go to him, "Are you dead yet?" He goes, "No." He goes, "No, that's right. You know, not all of them are bad."
Well, I
But
just
that's the thing, which is some of them are really like
Yeah.
they're just following the herd, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
one
yeah,
guy
yeah.
also where he asked me the same question. I sat down with him, so I was talking to him, and there's this great book written by can't remember, but the title of the book is "What the Quran Meant."
Yeah.
What the Quran meant? No, seriously,
sorry, bro. Sorry.
I don't know. It's not funny. It's not funny. What the Quran meant, and I actually gave it to him, and he watched the video basically explaining what the Quran meant, and so forth. But the guy changed completely 90 degrees from
No way.
literally 90 degrees because I actually never knew that was the message within the Quran, right? And it's also done by a non-Muslim. So most of them, when you interact with them, they're actually all right people. But it's just more of they're ignorant, and they're so ignorant
Yeah.
that they're just following, what's it called? GB News.
Yeah.
And that's literally what it is. You know?
I've had a lot of institutional racism by police and courts and stuff like that. There was one incident where I came off a plane from Dubai. This is going back in 2006, and everything happened with Iraq, and I think 7/7 just finished as well then. And imagine, like, the whole plane is full of just white people. The whole plane is white people. I'm coming off the plane, walking down, white person, white person, white person, white person, brown person. That's me, right? Excuse me, sir. We need to stop you. Spot check on anti-terrorism. I was like, huh? Like, how is this a spot check? You've obviously racially profiled just me. And then they go, no, it's a spot check. You can assure us on that. Kept me for like 5 hours questioning me.
No way.
5 full hours, bro. So questioning me for such detailed questions from what was I doing from 3 years ago, what mosques I go to.
Yeah.
What I do. And this is up north, I landed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it happens.
That's crazy. I think for me, I don't know anyone that travels as much as me, and I think I'm on a flight I think on average every year I'm probably on about 30 flights, right? So you're going in and out of border control and whatnot. I've never been stopped. I've never ever been stopped. Obviously, I'm not saying that there's no racism in the UK. It's bloody bad, like especially in football as well. It's like worse than ever right now. But my personal experience, I'll tell you what happened today, because obviously I just got off a flight, right? I was in Stansted, and I was walking through, and you're going out, like when you're going to declare, when you're going through customs, right? And it's just me, and there's this white guy, proper 100% he's gay, like proper, dressed it, walking, like proper.
Yeah.
So I took a look at him and I was like, yep, they're going to stop me. That's it. I'm about to break my record, my streak of never being stopped. They were all standing there and just watching both of us. And bro, they stopped him. Wallahi, they never stopped me. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
The tides are turning.
Wow.
And he was so shocked. He like proper stopped, like, what is this actually happening? And bro, they took, and I stood there for a bit and actually opened up his whole suitcase and everything.
Wow.
So these are all your bags. So could you put the bag over there? Are you okay for us to search this bag? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not even joking. And I carried the walk and I was like, yes.
It happened to me a few times, but
15, 20 years ago, probably not the case.
Yeah.
It still happens sometimes, but
Yeah.
not as much, yeah.
But anyway, we'll wrap it up. You want to wrap up the episode with a word?
With a word,
Guys, like, subscribe, Leave a comment below.
About
We're on the road.
80%, yeah.
We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers.
80% of our
Don't say that, bro. That's so negative.
I'm being serious.
But it's true.
80% of our viewers are not subscribed.
Why aren't you subscribing? It's a free service, guys.
Come on, guys. Click on it.
No, seriously. If you guys like this kind of content and it's kind
Recommend
of like
what? Yeah.
chilled out,
Yeah.
you know, everyday normal British Muslims talking about everyday life in the UK and abroad, then you know, it costs a lot of money for us
And
to
do
make this kind
recommend
of
what
content.
other topics you want us to cover as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Put in the comments below. What do you want us to talk about? And
You know what? Let me just give a snippet of the last Sermon of the Prophet because I wanted to add this in before we end the show. And because there is a lot of racism, and I thought there was between the communities as mentioned. But in our deen, how it should be is like the Prophet ﷺ said, all of mankind is from Adam and Eve, yes? And an Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor does a non-Arab have any superiority over an Arab. A white has no superiority over a black, nor does a black have any superiority over a white. Except by piety and good actions, subhanAllah. And the superiority comes from what? Taqwa and God consciousness. And, you know, sometimes we forget these and,
100%.
you know, between ourselves in our communities, this rifts always happen
100%.
between the Arabs, between Asians, between black people, Africans from the East and the West and so on. But, you know, if we keep this conscious in mind, and it's literally the last words of our Prophet ﷺ, and yeah, subhanAllah,
100%.
remove that
it's a
all.
profound
No, thanks for
way,
that. Thanks
profound
for that
way to end
advice,
the
yeah.
episode. Definitely,
Yeah.
Take things back always into perspective. Keep things serious.
No, 100%.
Jazakallah khair for that.
Yeah, bro.
Amazing.
Okay, signing out. We've been Triple A Talks. Muaz.
So,
Yahya and Yahya. Peace
Peace.
out.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.